7. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us at 7. I'm Tracey McCain.
And I'm Nicole Nalepa in for Caitlin Nuclo. And you are watching Eyewitness News on the Wax on this Friday morning, March 7th. We have a lot to get to, a number of road closures. Kate really had her work set out for her today. She's doing a great job. And also doing a great job is meteorologist Scott Gagliardi. And look at Old Glory blowing behind you. Wow.
Look at that.
She is whipping.
Any flag today is getting a workout of the month. I mean, it's fierce out there this morning. Look at this. This is in New Haven. The winds are sustained out of the northwest at 15, but it's gusting up and over 40. If you were very early this morning, like I was, 2, 3 o'clock this morning, look at this. Some flurries. This was up at, this is in Rocky Hill, right here at the station, and that wind was already gusting that early, up and over 40 to 50 miles per hour, even in the overnight hours. I'm sure you heard it anywhere across our state. That wind advisory continues through this evening for those gusts to continue, 40 to 50 miles per hour. Temperatures in that 25 to 35 degree range, a bit more mild along the shoreline, but still that 37 with winds out of the north and west, 15 to in some cases 25 miles per hour, making it feel like the 20s. Look at Putnam right now. You feel like 12, 17 in Willimantic. It feels like the middle of winter. This is the way things are going to stay throughout today and for most of the weekend, but there is improvements on the way as early as Tuesday. I'll detail that ahead in your First Alert forecast. Good morning, Kate.
All right, good morning, Scott. Good morning, everyone. Following a First Alert here for you. This is in East Hartford, right on the literally on the Bulkley Bridge. So if you're traveling from the capital city here this morning in Hartford, heading towards East Hartford, this is what you're going to run into. This incident involving a tractor trailer. Again, on the eastbound side, that right lane is blocked off. Bridges and overpasses are going to be a real problem here with those wind gusts. So hang on tight to the steering wheel. Lots of road closures to get to here. Multiple road closures in Tolland, one in Ashford, here in East Windsor. We've got a road closure in Franklin. East Haddam, we have 2 road closures in Hebron. Harwinton is where we're going to take a live look coming up in just a minute at that road closure. Lots of damage there this morning. A road closure in Hampton and in Windham, where we've been looking at a road closure there along Bricktop Road. So again, that wind is fierce out there this morning. It's causing a lot of issues with downed trees, down power lines, and it could cause an issue for you as you're heading to work or bringing the kids to school. Live look here in Waterbury, looking just fine. We got some nice bright sunshine out there in Meriden along 691. That wind, though, is just kind of knocking the camera around here in Middletown and in East Hartford. So give yourself some time, slow it down, hang on tight to the steering wheel, and not doing too bad in terms of those drive times. But again, as you're heading out the door here this morning, local side back roads, those all could be impacted with road closures. Another update coming up in just a few, but check the WFSB app for the very latest. Let's quick check at your Connecticut Chevy First Alert traffic report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
All right, we have a live look at one of the areas that Kate has mentioned in her First Alert traffic where there's a lot of issues right here. Yes. Look, the road is closed, and you can see those lines are down. This is again in Harwinton, Route 118 at Route 222. The wind has really been a mess to contend with today. At last check, Eversource reporting over 11,000 power outages across the state, 1,000 in Harwinton alone.
And Trace, I actually just looked at Eversource again and refreshed it, over 13,000 now.
13 now. Oh, wow. Okay. All right, so this morning in New Britain, 3 families are without a place to live after a fire tore through apartments overnight on Broad Street.
And your reporter, Marcy Jones, breaks down what we've learned this morning from the New Britain Fire Department.
All residents made it out safely and property can be replaced. However, it is devastating news to learn that 3 dogs did not survive this. Now take a look at this video. This was captured by Channel 3 news crews earlier this morning. This shows the scene on Broad and Gold Streets. Multiple police and fire units responding to a blaze that tore through upper level apartments on Broad Street. There have been no reported injuries of firefighters, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. Now, all residents that have been displaced, this is some positive news, are being assisted right now by the Red Cross during this tough time so that they can get back on their feet. Your reporter in New Britain, Marcy Jones, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, we're also learning about a fire that happened inside an unoccupied home in Bridgewater overnight. We have this image here that you can take a look at. This is a look at the scene as first responders responded there on Skyline Ridge Road. Crews say thankfully no one was hurt, but it's not clear yet how it started.
And right now, we're tracking developing news in Hartford after police officers shot and killed a suspect on Homestead Avenue.
Your reporter, Roger Susanen, has more from Hartford Police Headquarters and an update on where the investigation goes from here.
Well, you know, this investigation really exploded yesterday after this deadly shooting played out in broad daylight. And now investigators still have several key questions that they need to answer this morning. So let me take you back to that scene. This all played out yesterday in broad daylight after shots were fired in the area of Homestead Avenue. Now, officers were in that neighborhood in the city's north end searching for a suspect who they claim was connected to a firearms investigation near Magnolia Street. Investigators say when they found that suspect, they pulled out a gun, and that's when 3 officers opened fire, shooting and killing the suspect and shocking people who live nearby.
I'm just, minding my business, walking down the sidewalk, and like, what's going on with the streets of Hartford, man? It's getting a little too dangerous for innocent bystanders walking down the street.
Now, at this point, the suspect who was killed has not yet been identified. We do know the state's Inspector General's office, though, is now leading this investigation. Reporting in Hartford, I'm your reporter, Roger Suzanin, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Roger. And new details this morning in Meriden, where police are searching for a hit-and-run driver who left a man badly hurt. The man was hit by 2 cars on Park Street yesterday, and one of the drivers who hit him, we're told, took off, but the driver of the other car ended up staying and working with police. Now, an eyewitness we spoke with says that she ran over to help the man while he was lying right in the middle of the street, and she told us that he was badly hurt and bleeding from his head. Also today, plenty of bills are taking another step forward, and they could impact you and your family, so you're going to want to listen up.
Yeah, there is one new state bill on the table that, if passed, would stiffen penalties for drivers who hit emergency vehicles that are pulled over. And if the emergency responder dies, it would make it easier for drivers to face first-degree manslaughter charges.
In East Hartford, Governor Lamont will be signing a bill bringing an additional $40 million in funding for special ed programs across the state. The signing ceremony is happening at noon right at East Hartford Middle School. And then there's another new bill that aims to decriminalize small amounts, that is, of psilocybin, also known as magic mushrooms. That public hearing kicks off in about 3 hours at the state capitol.
All right, this is where you come in. Let us know if you think small amounts of magic mushrooms should be decriminalized. You can go ahead on the Vote Now tab on WFSB.com to weigh in, and the vote's getting kind of close here. 59% of you say no, while now 41% say yes. All right, we have a big update this morning in a case that our I-team broke. A federal lawsuit is now filed against the former nominee for Hartford's police chief. According to this lawsuit, a sergeant with the Philadelphia Police Department claims Captain Tyrell McCoy made repeated and unwanted sexual advances towards him. They allegedly include groping and kissing him without consent. McCoy was nominated to be the next chief in Hartford in January, but withdrew his nomination.
Meantime, people in Hartford gathered to weigh in on the search for a new police chief, and people now are pushing for more transparency in that selection process. Several community groups met last night to learn what people in the city want from their next chief. The mayor also established a community advisory group for the hiring process.
Well, for the first time, we're hearing from a popular priest in Hartford who's been accused of stealing money from the parish. He says he never used church funds for personal use. In a new statement, Father Charles Jacobs says every dollar given to the parish is used to support its mission, which is helping those in need. The archdiocese, however, claims that the priest went about this the wrong way, saying, quote, he stole from the church to give to the poor. Father Jacobs, however, remains on leave.
Now at 7:09, one driver is facing charges after another case of a wrong-way driving situation. Police captured this incident on dash cam video. Look at that. Ugh. Take a look. You can see the state trooper stopped the vehicle going the wrong way on Route 15 in East Hartford. And this just happened Wednesday night. They identified the driver as Joshua Holla, and police say he admitted to smoking marijuana beforehand and before he drove in the wrong direction. He is charged with reckless driving.
Well, it is almost time to spring forward because daylight saving time is this weekend.
Yeah, what is it, T-minus 2 days now? It's Sunday, and we're going to be turning our clocks ahead 1 hour at 2 a.m., which means, unfortunately, we all are going to lose an hour of sleep. Precious sleep. We love sleep. The annual seasonal change event means that the sun is going to be setting later, though, so that's some good news, right? We can expect to fall back to standard time on November 2nd. And what did you say about the clocks?
It's like clockwork.
Like clockwork. That is our mantra this morning.
I love that. I love that.
If I can say it right, it makes sense.
You did. You redeemed yourself.
Thank you.
Now Scott and I have to work on redeeming ourselves.
We will. It doesn't have to be today, though. Get you another look at that daylight saving time. So look at our sunset goes on Saturday from 5:50 to Sunday 6:51. Very much looking forward to that. A live look outside in Mystic. Notice it's a bit breezy out there, and it's the way things stay throughout the entire day today. The three things that you need to know, though, is it's very windy today. We have a few flurries tomorrow morning, and then it is unseasonably warm next week. We're going to detail all of this coming up in your full First Alert forecast.